Here in the great state of Minnesota, we have wonderful organizations that sometimes offer stock options. What do we do with those as we move into retirement? Billy, it's a great offering from the companies here, but a what to do. Sometimes we see an overloading into our employer stock options.
Yep.
We saw some scary happenings with a couple of organizations. I won't say their names, but when you overload where your work is and when your investment dollars are for retirement, you could be overweighting. But what do you think of the employer stock options here in Minnesota?
Well, I think employer stock options in Minnesota are actually very fair, and they provide huge benefits to folks in their retirement plans. Companies like 3M, Boston Scientific, Abbott, a lot of the Medtronic, a lot of the tech companies and medical companies in Minnesota offer employer stock, and they do so through matching within their 401k.
Wow.
Which sort of opens a huge opportunity for us to take advantage of a little-known sort of, wrinkle in the tax law called net unrealized appreciation.
Net unrealized appreciation. Okay, so hopefully they're growing inside the retirement account.
Exactly.
Then
yes.
what?
Yes. So imagine you have been working for your company, whatever it may be, for 20 or 30 years, and the match to your 401k has been made through employer stock, and this happens a lot in Minnesota. You look at it and say, over time, they've contributed $100,000 of employer stock to the plan. Let's also say that that grew $100,000. So now we have $200,000 of stock. $100,000 is what we would call the basis,
okay,
the cost basis of the stock. So if you roll it to an IRA, you're just paying ordinary income tax. Maybe that's good, maybe that's not. However, net unrealized appreciation allows us to actually access that employer stock, the gains, and take them out by paying capital gains tax and not income tax. And that can be a massive tax saver in preparing for retirement.
Okay, so we would roll it out, and then so you're rolling out that amount, or you're rolling out the tax obligation on it to pay.
So
that
this
upfront.
is tricky, and this is a do not try this at home. This is definitely do not try this.
Billy, there's no way I'd be trying this at home. I know that.
If there's other stuff that clients could probably do on their own. This one is definitely something you want to consult with an advisor on, because you do pay tax on the full distribution in that year. But when we run the numbers, a lot of times it still makes sense to take that large distribution, because we're going to end up paying capital gains tax, which is 0 or 15%, instead of ordinary income tax, which is 20, 22, 24, 28. You guess.
And very possibly
end up
going
from
up
there.
in the next couple of years.
Exactly.
Don't you think that someone can get advice on what to do with these employer stock options from the employer plan themselves?
Oh, and this is the troubling part, is we've called these companies, and you actually have to get to a special desk within, whether it's Fidelity or whoever the team, you have to get to a special desk just to get the questions answered on NUA. Your average call, they're not going to know how to give you advice on it. They're not even going to know what the answers are, and this is the reason to speak with a professional.
Right. Thank you so much. Look, folks, here in Minnesota, we realize we have many special plans in our retirement offerings, but make sure you don't become overweighted and you become as tax efficient as you possibly can. Stock options from work are amazing opportunities, but make sure that you work with someone who can help you out with it. If you don't have someone in your corner, you can talk to 𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗋, financial advisor and the founder of Fundamental Wealth Designs. If you'd like to learn more about Billy and his team, you can also go to his website right now, fundamentalwd.com.